I just learned about, I didn't know this existed, which is ACT for pharmacy as well. Tell us a little bit about what that is. I did not know about it.
Yeah, so it stands for, and it's an acronym within an acronym.
It is.
So get ready. It's the Academia CPESN Transformation. So ACT, ACT, collaborative. And so this was, I guess it's been about 2 years now we've been doing this, but it was basically a collaboration between schools of pharmacy and CPESN to say that we as academia, we as faculty affirm practice transformation in community pharmacy. And so really working as kind of a part of what I would say is their triple aim, if you will, is flip to pharmacy, ACT, and then getting paid, right? And so that's sort of CPESN's 3 goals, and they have like a little pie chart showing that. But it's been really interesting to me because it's opened up an opportunity for me to network with other community-based faculty, and many of whom I knew, because a lot of us have like kind of all done residency at the same time, or we've networked as residents in the past, and getting to see too that so many other community pharmacy-based faculty are on their own, just like I am, relatively anyways, that we're kind of by ourselves at our institution. And so it was really nice to hear that from other people. And sometimes it's just nice to know that you're not struggling alone. And so we've been able to network and develop ideas, and there's all these work groups coming out of it. Faculty, we love a work group, but coming out of it to join up and make an APPE syllabus, so APPE for 4th year students, make syllabi for them for a specific related practice transformation course, or looking at how do we integrate teaching them about the pharmacist e-care plan in the didactic curriculum. And so it's been really cool to develop out sort of this blueprint of how pharmacy education can affirm community practice transformation.
Right. And that's one of the areas where I think a lot of the Flip the Pharmacy cohorts have benefited. The ones that I've seen that have been the best are the ones where you've got a college professor working through ACT with them, right? You've got like Mississippi with Jordan, you've got Arkansas and the PPCN group. Megan and Stephanie at PPCN, like they're just fantastic, and they're clearly the better cohorts because they have like an actual plan. They have somebody that's thinking about how to operationalize it. It made a huge difference.
So it's really kind of letting the pharmacies still think about their pharmacy, and you have somebody else go to how do you run this from like I guess maybe an overall strategy perspective,
and part of
implementation stuff.
But part of like what the faculty have done, like in Jordan's group, ACT has made like this. Here's your rubric of how to do it. Like that's what faculty is great at, right? And
operationalizing it,
and
putting a measure. I remember you saying that. I was like, super. He's like, hey, some of the ones that are doing really well is where academia is helping them. I'm like, what?
Right.
Because I remember I took a little break where I taught school for about 4 years, and I constantly got this isn't a business. Why you keep trying to run this like a business? What's wrong with you? I'm like, yeah, it is kind of a business. The students are our customers. Well, not really. Kind of their parents are our customers. I'm like, okay, I'm not winning this one.
But the parents.
But to really see academia taking a really more of an aggressive role in transforming a business, it's huge, and it gives you a lot of hope because there's a lot of power back there. There's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of time. To put into stuff like that.
There's some mending that needs to occur with some relationships. I think a lot of, and not a lot, but I would say there's a faction of independent pharmacies that have maybe a negative outlook of academia, right? Of like, oh, we're up in our ivory tower saying here's the way that it should be, but it's totally unattainable for reality. And so I think that Flip the Pharmacy and ACT have kind of been helpful in maybe mending some of those relationships or some of those opinions anyways. And it's been really, really unique and interesting for me, particularly as an outsider from Mississippi, right? Because I came in and just started this job and nobody really knew who I was. Right. And so I feel like I hope that I've been able to show, here's why we want to partner with you, why the university wants to continue to have these relationships with you and try to help you improve your practice and provide the best care that you can. And then of course, hopefully get paid for it too.
Yes.
So.
Right. So what do you take back regularly from, going from independent back into academia? You work 2 days a week and you're with Bob in your practice site. So how do you take what in theory should be done with how it's actually done in the real world and come back and say, all right, here's how we're going to change our education?
Yeah, I think that that's really helpful for me to kind of have one foot in reality and and one foot in the ivory tower or whatever. But to really feel like I have all of these colleagues around who I can bounce ideas off of and say, okay, here's sort of what we've come up with, this process, this perfect, like everything goes well way. And I have been able to utilize our network pharmacies to say, okay, is this realistic? Can you actually do this? And then also, I think it helps to show students, to even walk through with students, say, okay, here's what we kind of came up with. Here's what the pharmacies said in response to that. And here's how we're meshing those two ideas, and showing students even that it's not always perfect the first go round. Because I think, too, we teach students, this is how you're going to counsel a patient. Right. You're going to ask them, the 3 prime questions, and they're going to respond perfectly in this way. And so showing students, too, that it's not always perfect like that, and how we can still maintain those relationships, I think then also instills in our students, when they're out practicing in a couple of years, to come back and they have those problem solving skills as well. So I think just showing them that part has been most beneficial for me, and being able to I'm very much too a collaborator. I don't like to just say, okay, here's the law of the land. I want to say, here's what I'm thinking. What do you guys think about it? Let's maybe walk through it and develop this process together. And so I think my position really feeds well into that, because I am always having to collaborate, because I can't be 100% at both places. Right. So it's having to work with the team that's on site, and because I'm going to be gone some of the days, like literally tomorrow, I won't be there. Right. So y'all need to do something about it tomorrow too, to keep it going. So